afternoon. We're here again at BMW Motorrad Days in the main exhibition tent. I was really lucky last year. I was able to ride around the world. But I tell you something, I could not have done it without a BMW Motorrad Navigator. There's a new one, and apparently it's even better. These things can do things that I couldn't have even dreamed of, but I know a man who knows all about it. How you doing, Daniel?
Hi, nice to meet you.
So, tell me, what are the highlights of the latest version?
So we have here the Navigator 6, latest version of our navigation system. We have, of course, the first you can see, a perfect new display which you can read in any environmental conditions.
So, what do you mean then? It's really easy to read, even in direct sunlight?
Even in direct sunlight, when you have even direct sunlight, then you can perfectly read it when sun is coming over your shoulder. Yeah. And normally with other devices you have the issue that you're not really able to read everything. This is no issue here.
Because this is one of the problems that I've had in the past when I've used a smartphone as a navigator. You've got bright sunlight, you can't even read it, you can't see it. Another issue I think is the extremes of heat and cold and weather. I've just been out in Mongolia with the GS Trophy, so it's been really hot at night. I really got all the marshals use these latest versions. So did you put a lot of thought into the extremes that this
Of course,
navigation?
so you can use it in really any environmental condition, when you have sunny weather, when you have rain, when you have snow, when you have ice. When it's really cold, it perfectly works. When it is really hot, it perfectly works. When you have, obviously, it's waterproof, but it's not only waterproof, it's also resistant to fuel, to brake fuel, every liquid you can have in a motorcycle environment. So this is much more any smartphone can do.
That's really good to know. Another question that I've got for you, Daniel. I love listening to music while I'm riding, but I'm not very good with the technical side of loading MP3 tracks onto the. Apparently with this one, you don't even need to do that anymore.
You don't need to do this even more. We have, of course, as with the old version, a built-in media player, so every customer who is used to loading his MP3 files to the device and listening to them can still do this. But if you're not so used to this one, you can just keep your music on the phone and just stream it. It goes from your phone to the navigator, from the navigator to your helmet, and you can control everything directly from the screen. When you have an iPhone, you can select your playlist, choose a song, and you have also the cover you stored on your phone. So it's perfectly, let's say, a remote device for your music on the smartphone.
And in terms of using the multi-controller that you can have as an option on bikes, you can also change tracks when you want, as well as actually use the navigation functions?
Sure. You can, with the factory installed navigation preparation, you can control most functions of the navigation system. You just flip here, and then you have here the map screen. You can zoom in or zoom out, go through different screens. You can go media. You have, let's say, a more shortcut of all functionalities. And then, of course, you have the My Motorcycle feature, which is pretty awesome, because you get a lot of information from your bike. You have tire pressure, oil temperature, environmental temperature, voltage of your bike, you have the current consumption, you have historic data, whatever you want to have on your trip.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, we've talked about loads of features there. We haven't actually talked about navigation, believe it or not. And I believe there are some even new navigation features on this latest version.
Of course, there are navigation features. You have especially two navigation features. You find then in apps. You have a round trip, which is for the more spontaneous people. So now you have perhaps 1 hour time, or you want to have a ride of 2 hours or 300 kilometers or 100 kilometers, whatever you want. But the one thing is, you want to stop, or to the destination is where you currently are. You just say to the navigation system, I have 2 hours time, just give me a lovely ride. And it says, hey, there it calculates 3 options. You can choose from these 3 options, and of course it takes all conditions into consideration. When you don't want to have motorways, you perhaps want to have curvy routes. Everything is taken into account when making these 3 suggestions to your in your route.
So basically what you're saying is that this has been designed specifically with motorcyclists in mind. Forget about boring motorways, forget about long straight roads. We're talking about being able to select curvy options, winding roads, avoiding toll roads, all those kind of things. Now that is a lot to take in, you know, it does so much. But I believe this weekend you're running workshops to help people learn more about this.
Yeah, this is obviously, there are a lot of features built in this unit, and nobody is really capable of doing this without any help. So we have workshops here on the Motorrad Days. Just come here, sign in, and then we will perfectly help you to all features within the new Navigator 6.
Okay, brilliant. So where do you sign up for that? Can you sign up here or?
So of course you can just come here in the Maintenance and people will guide you where you have to sign up. But if you want to go directly to the place where you sign up, we have left to the GS Trophy tent. There is a big building, it's called the Skischule, or the ski teaching area. There you can just go in and there's a big sign where you can sign up.
Okay, well listen, that's brilliant.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
I've learnt a lot myself, so that's navigation preparation workshops. And speaking of workshops, we're going to go across the way now because there are some other workshops taking place, and it's all about the art of motorcycle maintenance, believe it or not. So follow me as we head through the door that way.
Thanks a lot.
Got permission. We're taking the shortcut. I know we're short on time.
Oder 95, halb 95.
Okay, this is all about helping riders discover more about their motorcycles, or if they've got any issues or problems, we've got some experts inside who can help. Let's see if we can find some of them. Watch out for the puddle. How are you?
Thanks, how are you?
Good to see you. Right, well, we've just come in from the navigation preparation, and we wanted to discover a little bit more about what's happening in these workshops here, because I believe that you're allowing people to come in with their motorcycles and discover more about how they work, how they put together, because believe it or not, there are a lot of things that you can do with your own motorcycle that will get you more used to it, and it's a lot of fun as well. You don't have to do everything in the shop. You can do a lot of things yourself, and Florian's one of the best people to tell us about it. So.
Sure, perfect. I think 2 things we're doing here. First of all, if the guys have a problem here with the bike, it's not running, have some problem with the engine or whatever, they help us here. But in the other hand, we gave a course 2 times a day, around 1 hour, where we explain the customer, if you have your own bike, what you have to do, how you handle it, what is important, what you can do by your own, or when it's time to go to the workshop. Sure. Should I give you some explanation how we do it?
Yeah, so
what is important for that?
Absolutely, that'd be fantastic. So you're talking about, you know, a regular rider like myself, the kind of thing that I should be looking out for every day or every time I go, before I go out for a ride.
Sure, I can do that. I think the most important thing is before you ride, every time you have to check your bike that you know that it's working.
Okay.
At the beginning, if you come to garage or a bike is being on the street, look to your bike in general, look there if there's some liquids on the floor, so you can double check it. If the engine is working like oil, this is a air-cooled engine, so we'll see no water, but this is important, you first look.
Okay.
Then you know, okay, it's dry, everything is working. Then you go round the bike.
So is it a visual inspection?
Yeah, it's a visual inspection, and then we continue with the working inspection. Then you can have here very hard to look if the tire pressure is right. Sure, you can't check it in a very detail, but you see it's enough or not it's enough. Yeah.
Okay, you do
Then
that.
the next step is you go down, look here in it. There you see the brake, and you can look in at the thickness of the brake pads, if they're enough for your right.
So you're looking
see-
down inside
Yeah.
inside the
Yeah.
brake caliper to try and find out how much life
And
there
you
is
see,
left
see
in the
here
brake pads.
and there, and you see there is enough because the bike is very new. This is very important if you go for a longer ride that everything is working.
Okay.
There you go also around, check the lights, everything is there. Also look here, maybe some of the footrest and everything is working. Go round, look at here, everything is working. Like the number plate, two exactly the same one. And this is the first inspection you have done. And on the left side, the same also. There's the brake and the brake pads in it.
Show it again, please.
Sure, no problem.
Okay.
And exactly here is the rear brake, and there it's working exactly the same. This is the thickness of the brake pads, and if you check them and they have less 2 millimeters, you have to go to your workshop
to change, yeah.
change it. But before everything is fine, you can go 1,000 miles with no problem. After the physical inspection, you continue with the fluids
Yeah.
for the brake.
Okay.
There is minimum and maximum level.
So the rear
Must
reservoir
be
in between the two
between
lines.
there.
Okay.
And here we continue. This is everything was down the bike.
Yeah.
Then you come up. Brake. You have to check it. There is also filled in. Like there, it must be visible in the glasses.
Okay, yeah.
And now on the other side.
Same for the clutch fluid.
Yeah. You have to do it here, clutch fluid, that everything is working. So first,
I'm imagining
Yeah.
the oil is going to be underneath there.
yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
And everything is working. Then normally you can sit on the bike and check if everything is working like the electrics. Turn on the bike. And then don't have to put your hand here.
Yeah.
You see the light is on. Headlight also is working. Go back. You see it here. Okay. On your hand. Because if you feel daylight, you don't see it.
Yeah,
Take
sure.
Like that. Press the handle. It's working also. Take your foot on the wheel brake. Must be working. So everything is fine. And turn light. Double check. Left hand side. Right hand side. So if you have done this, you're ready for ride. Because sitting on the bike and you can go on. So you know your engine is working, you know all the electrician is working, and if you do the first move forward, check if the brake is working.
Yeah.
And if it's working and it's not going too far to the handlebar, to the grip, you can continue your ride.
And one of the things that I found when I've been doing some really long rides, and massively important to check your bike every day, one of the ways that I found that was useful to do this was actually to clean it.
Yeah.
To hand wash it. So would you recommend that's also a good way for checking things like, nuts and bolts, tightness,
Yeah.
fasteners?
I think that's a good idea if you're starting to clean your bike. Normally BMW bike you can clean with a pressure cleaner.
Also, pressure washing is okay?
But this is okay.
But not too close?
Not too close,
Okay.
be far away. All from the electronic parts.
So which
This
should
is
you
important.
avoid? What should you avoid with the pressure washer? Because I know a lot of people...
all the electricity here, because
Yeah.
you have to avoid that the waters come in it, so
Okay.
that it doesn't work. Avoid all the ignition parts for the engine. And also very important is, I think we see it here on the better side, to go there in here, where the axles are, also
Yeah.
on the rear wheel, and also on the front wheel. Because if you get it there in it, you get water in it, and you get rust in it,
Okay.
and so it
Yeah.
doesn't turn very easy around. This is what you have to avoid if you go with the pressure washer. But best thing would be you do it by hand.
Yeah. For hand wash, you
Yeah.
connect with your machine, you develop a bond and a little bit of love for it, you touch it. Well, maybe that's just me. I better stop there. But yeah, so hand washing is good for checking
So
everything.
if you go round on hand washing, you can also check if all the small details, as you clean it, wash it, if they are working, if they are in. Maybe if they are out, you can clip it in. Also, this very small bolts, if you do it by hand, you can check if they are in or not to avoid any that the brake is dazzling. Okay. So it's very small things. It's for changing the fluids.
Yeah.
But they must be on there.
Absolutely, yeah. Just got a quick question
Yeah.
that's come in just for someone who's very interested in this particular R19,
Yeah.
which is the oil air cooled version. What's the brake horsepower of this model?
Brake force.
Brake horsepower. I think it's about 110, but
I
we
think
can
it's
check that.
110, yeah, right.
It's enough. It's more than
It's
enough.
more than enough, but important for that engine is you have to have the right oil level there. Because it's oil cooled, and here in front you have the oil cooler, and some people ask how you have to check the right oil level on the bike.
Yeah.
So I think there are some very important things you have to do. First of all, if the bike is standing on the side stand, that doesn't work because it's lying on the left side.
Yeah.
So you have to bring it in that position and with it on the other side. Sorry for that. Check it.
I don't know if you can see, Connie. There's a little window. There's a little window underneath
It's
here.
on the front. Sorry.
Yeah, on the front side.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And for that, you see, it's on the minimum. So that's important. Always to check the oil level if the engine is warm.
So when the engine's been running,
Yeah.
and you switch the engine
Yeah.
off, how long? Because obviously the oil needs to drain down.
Yeah,
in order
around
for
1
you-
minute.
1 minute.
One minute,
enough.
yeah.
Okay.
And for the question is when it's engine warm, put your hand on the oil cooler there.
Yeah.
And if it's get warm, then you have the right temperature. Means with the temperature, the volume of the oil is increasing.
Yeah.
And so it's also coming up. And then you can finally check if it's the right oil level, yes or no. And then it's very easy. Take the BMW oil and refill it, half a liter, whatever you need, and that's it.
Oil's the lifeblood of the engine.
Yeah.
Say no more. Can I know this is a shaft-driven boxer bike,
Yeah.
but you know there are a lot more BMWs now that are coming with chain drive.
Yeah.
Can you just talk us, obviously without pointing at anything, but chain inspection, chain wear, chain maintenance?
Yeah.
What do people need to look out for?
I think it's very important that you keep always the chain clean. There are special tooling to brushes or liquids to clean your oil, because if they're to clean your chain, because if dirty, it's not as that long distance able to work with it. Normally it's around 50 to 20,000 kilometers.
Yeah, okay.
And if you're working with a dirt chain, it's half the mile. So clean it, and then you have to need how's the right length of the
Yeah,
bike.
tension.
Tension, yes.
Tension,
This
yeah.
is what you also to check out.
Okay, and also the tension and the chain wear as well. But come to one of these workshop sessions. Ask Florian, ask the other mechanics. They'll be able to show you actually how to do that. You can even bring your own bike for them to show you. So these workshop sessions, when are they running? Are they running throughout the weekend here?
Yeah,
at
we're
BMW
running through
Motorrad
the
Days?
whole weekend. We have 2 times a day. One time a day we have all the 19s, the boxer engine. On the second half of the day we work with the 4-cylinder engine, because it's a complete other bike. It's working with another engine. We have there the chain, how you inspect the chain on all the things. And this is how it makes interesting for the people to come here to understand what you can do before you go for the ride. As shown here, it's around half a minute and you'll be safe that you have the trip, whatever you want, weekend or the whole story there. Yeah.
Daily checks, and when you've got a chain driving a 200 horsepower motorcycle, you need to make sure it's the right tension and that it's correctly oiled. So these workshops, they're running all weekend. Do people have to register for them?
Yes, they have to book them. There's this ski school there upstairs, and they can to register it. We have around 10 to 50 people there for one session. Sure, and they're welcome to be here. We will explain everything what we have there, and also we are able to go for individual questions. Of course, there are 2 mechanics here, and so they know what happened.
Are you also able to change tires for people?
Yes, this is outside if they're coming here with a tire, because there's going down. I think normal BMW dimensions we have there, and so also they're able to change the tires there.
Okay,
Yeah.
and just a couple final questions. I noticed in the corner there,
Yeah.
there's a display cabinet that's got
yeah.
some quite interesting parts.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit
Sure,
about
I
that?
can do it. I think what we have displayed there is a very small range of BMW accessories. We say sale in the next tent to here. If a customer has the interesting to modify his bike, like ergonomic, like styling parts or performance parts, you can buy there next on this tent. And if you want, you can bring it in here in the workshop and we mount it directly on the bike. And it's very interesting and do it together with our mechanics upstairs, so that you get a feeling how it works. And it's not so complex. Footrest there or whatever, with also the valve covers there. You can do it and we explain them what is necessary to do and so on.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you've got a little bit of everything there. You're able to bring your own bike in. You're able to get any questions answered here. You can see somebody bringing their own bike in. They're going to be getting a little bit of help with that. Just to reiterate, you know where to register at the ski school, or come in and talk to the guys. I've got one just final question for you, because it's quite important. these are the things you can do yourselves. These are the daily checks or pre-ride checks, but it's important still, right, that you get your bike serviced by a BMW Motorrad dealership at the required regular intervals. Can you explain why that's important?
I think there are a lot of things why it's important. Of course, first of all, we have here a diagnostic system that are able to check the engine if everything is running, everything is working. First of all, and then they have the dedicated right parts which work together. Because if you have maybe a brake system, they work with the brake pack together, that you don't have the chattering and all of the things about. And they are the expert with the right, the torque they need
right
and all
tools,
the other stuff. Yeah, very, very short. But normally you can talk about 1 hour because why do you have to bring it to the BMW dealer?
Absolutely. Yeah. This is brilliant. Well, listen, there you have it. You've heard it from the experts. The experts are here all weekend. They're passionate as well about what they do. You know, they're not riding, they're working on bikes. If they're not working on bikes, they're talking about bikes. So you can see it all here at BMW Motorrad Days. Thank you for your time.
Welcome, enjoy.
And well, we'll be back later on with lots more Facebook Live. But until then, over and out.